welcome back to Paladino Live for episode number 21. It is the 23rd of July. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of July in 2008. And we are back here on the sportstuff.com and iTunes. Thank you for downloading and listening to this wonderful show. It is great to have you on board. And don't forget to tell your friends about this show as well, as it's more than worth it. First of all, here on the sportstuff.com, we have a message boards. It is on the upper right-hand corner of the front page of the sportstuff.com. Click on TSS boards, and you will be able to sign up and join in on the message boards, talk some sports, interact with all of us podcasters and members of TSS. We have almost 200 members now. Things are going pretty good, and it's great to have all of you on board. Now, here on Paladino Live, we also have a call-in line on the sportstuff.com. It is 916-912-4263, 916-912-4263. It is how you get on the air on the shows here on the sportstuff.com. Treat it as a voicemail. Simply address which show you are calling for. And then after that, state your opinion, your comment, your question, whatever. And you will be aired on the next show. You will get to hear your voice on the next show. Now on today's version of Paladino Live, the 21st installment of this show. So we're moving right along, which is good news, of course. Well, today we're going to talk about two teams. Is the Minnesota Wild not on the show today? No news. And obviously it's the off season, so no news with the Wild. Finally getting quiet with them. So that means we can adjust more to the Wolves and Wild, as there is Wolves news. Wild Twins, I apologize. There is Wolves news, and the Twins continue to play. And there's always news with them as well. With that, we're going to return, and we're going to start off with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What's up, listeners? This is Farzine. I am the host of the Chiefs End Zone Show right here on thesportstuff.com, where we cover the Kansas City Chiefs, give our opinions, and go deep inside with the Kansas City Chiefs right here only on thesportstuff.com. We encourage you Chiefs fans, you loud Chiefs fans out there, to get on the show, voice your opinions, get on our boards, and talk with us. All listeners, including Bronco fans, are allowed in our show. So be sure you check out the Chiefs End Zone Show right here on thesportstuff.com with me, your host, Farzine.
And we are back here on Paladino Live, and it is time to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. We are ready to rock and roll. Last week, now there were three major free agents for the Wolves to hopefully keep. Their names were, of course, Ryan Gomes, Sebastian Telfair, and Craig Smith. Now, to me, those were the priorities in that order. For me, of course, Gomes first, Telfair second, Craig Smith third. I wanted them all back, of course. I mean, it's not like I wanted any of them to leave. But I also figured Craig Smith would probably be the most likely out because, there's a lot of guys playing the same position and all that good stuff. But yeah, so last week, Craig Smith, the first of the three to sign. So that figures. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, yeah, it was a 2-year deal. And terms of the deal, still, like the money terms anyway, still not available. So I'm a little bit frustrated with that. It's pretty safe to assume they're anywhere from $1.7 million to about $2 million, $2.2 million a year, something like that. So we'll see what happens. It's probably around $4 million total. So nothing major, not going to kill the salary cap. And now, a second free agent is signed out of those three. And this one, Sebastian Telfair has signed with the Timberwolves. And the news that the teams had reached an agreement came out, about 2 days ago. I believe it was Monday. I first saw it on the Star Tribune, I thought that was pretty cool. So finally got something cooking. Now, of course, the Timberwolves declined to extend Telfair the 1-year 3.5 qualifying offer, $3.5 million that is, which is how rookie contracts go. That's usually the final year of the rookie contract. There's a qualifying dealie where if you decide to tender him, they're a restricted free agent, or they just stick with that tender until, until it's time for unrestricted free agency the next year. So Sebastian Telfair was unrestricted. He could sign anywhere, and we were unable to match if that were to happen. Kind of a slight risk by the Wolves, because you never know, somebody out there may overpay for him, and that would just be bad news for this team, of course. But that's life. That's how the NBA works. But savvy move by the Timberwolves, as well. Telfair inks a 3-year deal. The third year, a player option. Now, that would be Telfair's third year with the Wolves. That is okay, because like if he were to opt out, it's like, say he gets much better in that term of time and he wants like a raise. Now, it happens quite often that players opt out when they have player options, mainly because they want a raise, and that could very well be the case with Sebastian. And that could work out just fine, ultimately, because, well, Sebastian Telfair, according to league rules, would have Larry Bird rights. His Larry Bird rights, because he would have been here for 3 years. Which means, regardless of how good Telfair is, we would be able to sign him to as much as we want without any regard to the salary cap. Now, of course, there's some silver lining to that, and we've learned the hard way in the past, signing Terrell Brandon to a 5-year deal and things like that, $60 million. So, obviously, there's going to have to be some wise decisions made. So far, Kevin McHale is looking like he's learned a bit from his mistakes, at least salary cap-wise. He's getting better. He is getting a lot better. As you could have signed Bassey to $3.5 million or so like that, maybe a 3-year deal or 5-year deal, another cursed Troy Hudson contract. Thank God that didn't happen. So ultimately, we're going to see what happens with that deal. I wanted to keep Telfair. I did, and he's back. Not everybody is too excited. Some people are really excited. There's a middle ground there, and I'm trying to stabilize in that area. I'm trying to stay in that middle ground. He averaged 9.3 points, 2.3 rebounds in the big set, 5.9 assists. Not bad at all. 10th in the league in the assist-to-turnover ratio. Not bad at all. Sebastian Telfair, a very solid backup point guard, and the only true point guard that the Wolves have, because Randy Foye is not a true point guard. He's a combo guard. So ultimately, good news. Keeping Telfair is a good thing. Still needs to learn how to finish at the rim more. Continued to miss layups last year. Very frustrating at times. But overall, not a bad player at all. He is developing into a solid player. His point totals were not a career high, but his minute totals were. Last year, his assist totals definitely a career high. He had 9.5 a few years ago with Portland, but, wasn't the same player. Field goal percentage reached 40 last year. Not bad, but 3-point percentage only 28%. Free throw percentage mediocre for a point guard, 74. Not bad though. Not bad at all. I'm pleased with the deal. We're just gonna have to see how this turns out ultimately. With that, quickly though, also the Summer League, a little bit of Summer League talk here on Paladino Live. The Wolves ultimately finished in the 5 games, finished 2-3. Win-loss record doesn't really matter. It just, it just is what it is, because most Summer League players do not play in the NBA. Some end up in the NBDL, hoping to crack a lineup spot later on with a pro team or with their current pro team, like say they're a second-round pick or something, or even a late first-round pick. And of course, the NBDL allows the player who may have been out of the rotation during the regular season in the NBA get some playing time against, decent competition. So that could be Chris Richards' role this next year once again, as of course young players only eligible for 2 years, I believe, to be sent down to the D-League, which is unfortunate. But Corey Brewer and Chris Richard would both be eligible if it were to come to that. Brewer most likely will be on the big roster. Richard, who knows? I'm a little disappointed with Chris Richards' performance in the DL, as being that most of these players in the Summer League, not major players. I mean, you see guys like, I believe his name was Rick Brunson, look like he looked like Chris Paul out there. Rick Brunson, a guy who averaged about 3 points a game in the NBA. He was a veteran point guard, backup, kind of in and out of the league. Yeah, he looked like Chris Paul against some of these guys, a few years ago when I would watch this. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But if Chris Richard can only manage what I'm seeing here of 6.2 points, 4.6 rebounds a game, I'm not that excited. He only averaged 0.2 blocks a game. Not too exciting at all for me with Chris Richard. I'm hoping he can continue to develop. I didn't mention his name as restricted or as free agents, even though he kind of is a restricted free agent. Kevin McHale in the press conference today, and Sebastian Telfair addressed these other issues. Gomes and Chris Richard. He believes he pretty much sees Chris Richard as under contract because he's probably just going to wind up with the tender. Because the Timberwolves did tender him a qualifying offer. He'll probably just wind up with that because no one's going to throw $3 million a year at Chris Richard. No, that ain't going to happen. No. Not when you're averaging 6 points a game in the summer league. Kevin Love, on the other hand, played pretty darn good in the summer league. Outstanding, and a lot of people are pretty excited about him right now. As really the three main stars of the summer league were Kevin Love, Jared Bayless, the undisputed MVP of the summer league, just phenomenal, averaging about 26 points a game. He looks like he's going to be a big-time player for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, yeah, what I said about Rick Brunson, yeah, I know, but at the same time, these guys are the real deal. Guys that are the real deal are going to stand out, and you're going to know they are the real deal. The other player that also stood out was Anthony Randolph. I apologize, a little bit of a brain fart there. Anthony Randolph of the Warriors looking good as well. So, pretty exciting. On the rookie top 50 right now on ESPN.com, they have Michael Beasley ranked number 1. Greg Oden, who of course is going to have to be a rookie this year because he didn't get to play last year. He was just out the whole year. Major bummer for the Portland Trail Blazers. And number 3, do you know who it is? A 19-year-old who plays power forward, and that's right. He was drafted by the Wolves. It was Kevin Love. Yeah, Kevin Love. Very impressive in the summer league. Absolutely wonderful. I was extremely impressed. He averaged about 19 points, 13 rebounds in the summer league. You see things about this guy. He's going to be something. He had a very athletic rebound and dunk on a play. Somebody missed. I think, Corey Brewer. What a surprise. He missed. There's another disappointment for you right now. Missed a layup, and the way Kevin Love just came flying in and jammed that thing in, that was pretty impressive stuff. Showing some unexpected athleticism. Of course, the outlet passing, which we've been told about to death from analysts, and of course the Wolves front office. Oh, the outlet pass. Well, we finally got to see that, and looking good. This guy is one heck of a passer. There's some really cool videos on YouTube. There's one where he does he's at the top of the key or behind the 3-point line, whatever, and just kind of zings it in on a nice bounce pass into, I believe it was Chris Richard. Just wonderful pass. I see a really, really positive future with this guy. And then the announcer, after the Portland Trail Blazers game, that's the one I got to watch, said, boy, people in Minneapolis are going to love this kid. Of course, no pun intended there. I'm a lot higher on this kid right now than I was on draft night when the Wolves made that trade. A lot of people, I was scared to death that it was just going to be some steam that would overrate a guy, and we're screwed. We're going to get a guy that's going to be maybe 12 points a game, 12 points, 8 to 9 rebounds a game, just mediocre player. This guy might end up being really nice because he does a lot of stuff. When we were in the position we had to trade away Kevin Garnett because of the salary cap deal and everything, and we got Al Jefferson and all that. Now, they talked about how, one major concern was, so you have Al Jefferson who can score and rebound like Garnett, right? So you got that, but he doesn't have the passing ability like Garnett. as you lose that part of the game. Al Jefferson only averages about an assist and a half a game, so you don't really get that playmaking ability from the big man. Well, now you do have it, as Kevin Love is that guy. Now you have Kevin Love and Al Jefferson to kind of combine together. We're going to have a pretty good rebounding duo with those guys. I mean, we're talking 10 rebounds a game apiece. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. It looks like there's a pretty good possibility that Kevin Love might end up being the center of those two. As clearly we're going to have 3 forwards and no true center in the starting lineup. It's probably going to be Kevin Love. We'll see, though. I mean, I don't know. We may end up going with a large lineup at some point in time, and because then Kevin Love ends up being the small forward, as that would make more sense to me if you had to put one of these guys at small forward with a true center. It'd be Kevin Love because of the passing ability and the outside game. He's got a little bit of outside game to him, so it makes more sense. You know, a little teeny tiny bit of Larry Bird in him. You know, the 10 rebounds a game and the passing and the outside shot. So, you know, and of course the smarts that Larry Bird had. I am not comparing him to Larry Bird, just saying there's a little teeny tiny bit of similarities, just a little teeny bit. We'll see. This guy may end up going on to become one of the great players in the league, and he may end up going on to be a decent player that people respect, but maybe make it to one All-Star game in his whole life. But we'll see. As of right now, though, it's looking pretty exciting for Wolves fans here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Portland Trailblazers fans, though, should be elated right now. Absolutely elated. Greg Oden didn't even get to play last year. Brandon Roy has become an all-star. David Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge. I apologize, getting confused with the former ESPN reporter and current TNT reporter, David Aldridge. But LaMarcus Aldridge emerging big time last year for the Trailblazers. Now you have Greg Oden added to the mix, as he's healthy now. And Jared Bayless, you're able to make that trade because Bayless slipped all the way down to 13th with Indiana. Man, oh man. You know, you didn't even really have to give up that much. You know, Jared Jack, I believe, probably the main guy gone from that group. Man, oh man, do the Portland Trailblazers have a future. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Crazy. But for now, we're going to see what happens. I think, yeah, the Wolves and Blazers are going to be, there's going to be a nice little rivalry in this division between those teams, I think, long term. The Oklahoma City something. It's believed to be they might be called the Thunder at some point. Minnesota has a soccer Thunder. So, oh goody, you're going to have the same name as a minor league soccer team. Good for you guys. Anyhow. Yeah, sorry I'm wandering around, but yeah, I think it's going to be a nice rivalry between the Wolves and Blazers in the coming years. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, of course, Portland, a heavy favorite, I hate to say. We're going to have to see what happens. Craig Smith only played a little bit in the summer league. We'll see what happens. Not much really to make of it, to be honest. Because it is just the summer league, and of course he hadn't really been with the team for a little while because he was unavailable. He was not signed. He played sparingly. Didn't play at all in that final game against New York when the Wolves won 111-91. So not sure what happened there. But yeah, one final bit here really quick before we get into the Twins. I apologize, I'm running this a little long here. Corey Brewer averaged 9.8 points, 4.4 rebounds a game. So those stats not awful, but field goal percentage 37%. Not good at all. Free throw percentage 64%. Yeah, Corey Brewer still struggling offensively. So the Wolves are going to have to hope for the best with this guy. They really are. It's going to be a long time, I think. They're going to have to hope he can just become a defensive specialist, especially early on. His defense is outstanding. His offense is below average at best, if not terrible. So that's where we stand at this point with the Timberwolves. We will return shortly with some Twins talk. Here on thesportstuff.com, get on board the Viking ship with Purple Mafia. We will talk about the new Purple People Eaters and the best running back in the NFL, Adrian Peterson. This team is ready to make a move forward. Purple Mafia is available on thesportstuff.com along with iTunes and MediaFly. Simply download and listen to the most honest and passionate Vikings coverage. And we are back, and well, the commercial you just heard was my other podcast. It is pretty successful despite the fact it's still very new. I haven't done a show on that one in a while. It's only 4 shows in so far. So any of you Purple Mafia fans that are listening to this show, thank you, first of all. I appreciate it. It's great to have you on board both shows. And I do apologize. There has not been a show. To me, there's just not been enough going on for me to do a show, because I've just been kind of mainly focusing on this one with all the off-season news and the Twins baseball. There's a lot going on with this show, Paladino Live. So there will be a new Purple Mafia very soon. I was thinking of even doing one tonight yet. We'll see. I know there's Favre talk, but we'll get to that in a bit. Because now it's time to talk a little Twins baseball. And here we go. Well, first of all, Francisco Liriano still not with the Twins because of the good rotation the Twins have. You know, you have Glenn Perkins, you have Scott Baker, who is probably the best of the bunch for the starters. You have the veteran Livan Hernandez, who's a quote-unquote inning eater. We've heard that a billion times. You have Nicky Blackburn, who unfortunately got beat pretty bad the other day. That was not good. But you also have, and you also have Kevin Slowey. So there's your 5 starters for the Twins. Now, I understand that you don't want to take any of those out of the rotation, but, Francisco Liriano, to me, appears to be back. And I mean back, folks. Big time. I think he's back. It took 2 years from that Tommy John surgery, but the Francisco Liriano that made the All-Star team after only playing 2 months of Major League Baseball, that's how good Francisco Liriano was, and how good he probably still can be. He's probably changed his pitching a little bit because of the injury. You got to adjust a little bit so you don't do the same problem and then kill your career. But are you ready for this, folks? Now, Francisco Liriano's overall stats in Rochester, AAA Rochester, the Twins' AAA affiliate, is 9-2 with an ERA of 3.13, right? Now, the 2 losses and the bad earned run, or well, not bad, but the reason why the ERA is even 3 is because he did start out pretty poorly. With the Twins, well, his official stats for the year are about, I believe his ERA is 13.5, because he struggled mightily. He just didn't have his timing back. He wasn't used to really being back pitching again in real games. And he carried that into the minor leagues for a little bit. Now, considering his ERA is that low and his record is that good despite the bad start, are you ready for his past 5 starts? Francisco Liriano's ERA, and I'm not making this up, is .26. .26. That means a 0 is on the front. In 5 starts, he has allowed 1 earned run in 35 innings. In that time, he has struck out 42 batters. That's over a strikeout an inning, folks. That is about 10 strikeouts a game. Now, I know that's AAA, but in baseball, there's plenty of AAA players that probably could make it in the big leagues. There's just not enough room for them. Now, he's not going to do that good in the big leagues. We all know that. But you can't tell me he won't have an ERA of maybe of under 3 in the big leagues the way he's going. Yeah, Liriano, now, yeah, like I said, I understand you don't want to shake up a pitching staff that's doing that good. But here's the thing. Now, Scott Baker's ERA, now he's not going anywhere, obviously, because he's the best. His ERA is 3.26. Fantastic. And then you go down to Nick Blackburn, 3.83, also fantastic, considering, he's very young and new. Glenn Perkins' ERA also, though, 3.84. So that's the tough part, right? That's the tough part. Those guys aren't going anywhere. Kevin Slowey, though, is at 4.41. That's a bit higher than I think Francisco Liriano's would be, right? You would think, despite the fact he's gotten better. And then you got Livan Hernandez, Now, he's all right. He's got his 10 wins, but you got to think that's a little bloated, right? Considering his ERA is 5.29. As Livan Hernandez has struggled pretty bad for the Twins the last several games. I got to think Liriano's better than one of those 5. What a tough situation. What a tough situation. Man, oh man, oh man, do I want to see Francisco Liriano on this staff. It's like you hate to shake something up, but what do? You can win a championship with a guy like Francisco Liriano. As the Twins arguably had the 2 best pitchers in baseball on the same staff in 2006 before Liriano tore up his elbow. Man, oh man, oh man. What a bummer. I didn't realize Perkins' ERA was that good. So he's really been stepping it up of late. He really has, thankfully. 7-2, well, he had been until today anyway. That's the unfortunate part. As last week, the All-Star break was still finishing up. In between that time, the Twins have gone 2-4. The Twins played a 3-game series with Texas, won that game 2-1, and today completed a sweep where the Yankees were swept the Twins badly. In the East, the AL East, the Twins have struggled mightily this year, very badly. Twins virtually are winless, are nearly winless in Yankee Stadium in the last several years. It has been very difficult. Ever since Tom Kelly left, Twins had they won the series in 2001, and that's the last time the Twins have won a series in New York. I still remember that series very well. It was like a statement series for the young and improving get-to-know-them Twins. But quickly now, Friday the 18th, not the 13th, so no horror story, thankfully. Twins shut out the Rangers 6-0. Pitcher on this particular night was the aforementioned Glenn Perkins, who won his 7th game. 6 innings, of course, no earned runs, 1 strikeout. Not bad at all. The bullpen, of course, holds on, completes the shutout. The Twins defeat Kevin Millwood, who drops to 6-6. Player of the game for the Twins, Delman Young, had 4 hits in this game. As Delman Young continues to have he kind of has a little bit of the early Kirby in him. You know how Kirby Puckett always swung at bad pitches throughout his career, but and then early on, Kirby Puckett didn't hit home runs, but he had, he managed to get a lot of hits. And I'm not comparing Delman Young to Kirby Puckett. I have common sense. He's not even close yet, but you never know, as Delman Young is a very talented guy, and he's shown in multiple cases this year that he's capable of getting 3 or 4 hits in a game. He has done it several times this year. Batting average at .294 after this particular game. Castillo also 3 hits. So those are the 2 guys that stand out to me on this night. No homers for the Twins. As now quickly we're going to move right along. Twins win another one, and this was a whopper, whatever. 14-2. Mauer and Morneau step it up big time on this night. 14-2, folks. So the Twins have won this particular series by this time. Delman Young, 3 hits again, getting his batting average up to .299 at that point. Excellent. Denard Span, 2 hits. This guy, big time. I'm really liking this guy more and more. Joe Mauer getting his 6th homer of the year, so he's finally starting to hit some homers. Delman Young, his 4th. Justin Morneau, his 15th. And Brian Busher getting his 2nd of the year. So, excellent, fun night for the Twins. 3 RBI for Mauer, 2 RBI for Young, 5, count 'em, 5 for Justin Morneau, getting up to 73. Excellent, one of the league leaders in the AL for Justin Morneau. An excellent night for him. And yeah, Livan Hernandez, it's a lot of his wins have been on these big games where the Twins score a lot of runs. Now, early on, Livan was very good, but ever since, not so great. Though on this particular night, he did pitch 7 innings and only 2 earned runs. Not bad. Gave up a homer, as that's just going to happen. That just is. Gave it up to Davis. I see C. Davis. It's Chili Davis, baby. Remember him? No, not Chili Davis. It's actually Chris Davis. So, first baseman with the Rangers. Not somebody I'm all too familiar with. But that's where things stand after this night. Twins, of course, winning the series. several players getting multiple hits in this game. 16 hits overall. Gomes had 2 hits. Maurer 2 hits. 3 RBI, of course, as I mentioned, for Maurer. 2 hits for Morneau. 3 for Young. 2 for Busher. And 2 for Denard Span. Outstanding game for the Twins. But then, unfortunately, a 4-game losing streak that the Twins are currently in begun the next day, Sunday. Now, Scott Baker pitched one hell of a game in this and Sunday, and we lost 1-0. Twins offense falling asleep, unfortunately, on this particular day. It's I guess they scored all the runs for the next 4 games in that one 14-2 game, unfortunately. Twins only total 3 hits in this game. Delman Young continuing, though. He at least gets one of those hits, so he's continuing to be a factor. Busher, the other hit. Joe Mauer, the other hit. So that's it when it comes to the Twins. Padilla, for some reason they're calling him Padilla. I don't know. Usually when I see 2 L's, I think Padilla. But 7 earned runs, of course, or 7 earned runs, 7 innings, no earned runs, no strikeouts, just 2 walks. He goes up to 11-5. Scotty Baker drops to 6-3. Unfortunately, his ERA 3.26. Really darn good. Really darn good. He gave up. The only home run of Teagarden. That's his name. I believe it was the first home run and RBI of Teagarden's career. He's a catcher for the Rangers. He was called up very recently. I believe that was his first game in the big leagues. Yes, it was. And he hit a homer. Well, alrighty. So there you go. Congratulations, Teagarden, and that is. They were talking about how he's probably going to get sent down right away after that game or the game after or so. Yeah, go figure. Congratulations to him. He gets a game-winning hit, a homer. Now, the snide, as they call it, continues his Twins. Of course, it's okay. You lose 1-0 when you already won a series. It's just, that's going to happen. That's baseball, right? But here's the part that's even more baseball. The Twins going into New York is really bad news, unfortunately. They get creamed 12-4 on Monday. Castilla stands out again with 3 hits, and Denard Span stands out with 3 hits. Both of them batting really well. Castilla was batting average at .320 after that particular day. Span all the way up to .329. Just wow. He had his 3rd triple of the year, Denard Span, his 2nd double. Just excellent run for Denard Span, continuing to play some good ball. At this point, Ryan Gomes still the leadoff hitter at the time, as there's a little bit of a lineup change not long after. I believe it was Tuesday, so we'll get to that in a sec. Of course, the Twins losing 12-4. The RBI go to Carlos Gomez, Castilla with 2 of them, and Kubel getting his 47th. No homers for the Twins. Kubel getting just his 1 hit. Twins leave 17 on in this game. A little bit frustrating. Yankees managed to leave 16 on, despite the fact they scored 12, so that tells you something there. A lot of guys on base for the Yankees. Lots of guys on base on this particular day. Sidney Ponson, just seeing that name, man. The guy who, was just a part of the lousy Twins Twins free agent pitchers last year. Oh my goodness. Ortiz and Ponson just awful for the Twins last year. Ponson is 6-1 with a 4.02 ERA this year. He did give up 3 earned runs in 5.2 innings, so he wasn't exactly great. Only 2 strikeouts and also 2 walks there, so the strikeout to walk ratio 50-50. Not too good in that particular stance. Nick Blackburn, though. Nick Blackburn. Well, fortunately, he gets out of this game with his ERA under 4, but he only pitched 1 and 2/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 6 runs scored, 3 of them earned, including a homer and 1 strikeout. Boof Bonser fills in, as he's like the long reliever now. Bonser will never start a game for the Twins again unless there's major injuries. I mean, thank God for that. But, not exactly faring well in the bullpen either for good old Boof. 3.1 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 4 runs, all of them earned, 3 strikeouts, and 2 homers allowed. Creslow even gives up an earned run in his 2 innings. His ERA, though, 2.28. It's not bad at all. Or Breslow. I call him Creslow. Sorry. Boof Bonds' ERA, by the way, at 6.59. Ugh. Matt Guerrero also pitches 1 inning, gives up an earned run, and walks 2. ERA of 3.46. Not bad, but some Yankee curse there. As the A-bomb for A-Rod. It's an A-bomb for A-Rod, and the Yankees win. So there's the famous Yankees announcer there. And that's what happened is A-Rod hit his 21st A-bomb of the year. Derek Jeter, 6th homer. A-Rod has 3 runs, or 3 RBI. Sorry, Bobby Abreu gets his 61st RBI. Whew. Whoa, what a year he's having. Cano, also 2 RBI. Damon, RBI. Yeah, pretty good lineup for the Yankees. Yeah, and as I mentioned, Sidney Ponson, yuck. The Troy Hawkins is on the Yankees, so I'll just throw him in there real quick. He pitched the final 2 innings of the game for the Yankees. His ERA is 5.58. He allowed a run in the 2 innings he pitched. Now let's go to game 2 of this awful series. My goodness. Talk about the curse. It's the Twins curse now, not the Red Sox curse. 9th straight home win for the Yankees at this point. Kevin Slowey picking up the loss in this particular day. Kevin Slowey pitched 5.1 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, allowing a homer. His ERA a little bit better than I expected, though, 4.41, so, for this season, after this particular game. So it's not as bad as I thought, because I was thinking maybe he'd be the one you might temporarily move to the bullpen to bring up Liriano. I don't know. I mean, Twins fans out there, go ahead and shoot me for saying that. I don't know. I think Liriano's just too damn good to leave down there. Especially after a series like this, you could have really used a Liriano to shut the Yankees up, to shut those bats down. Because this was a flood, man. This was a flood. It's awful. Awful day awful series, for the Twins. The Yankees only get 9 hits but score 8 runs. They get 8 runs in off of only 9 hits. Sheesh, man. That sucks. Reyes continues to pitch well. He only got a third of an inning, but his ERA is 2.63. Crane he was doing good until this day, as he pitched a third of an inning. 4 runs, 3 of them earned, man. 2 hits, so Crane struggles. His ERA only 3.38, so surprisingly good still, despite that awful day. Bass, a guy, pretty much his job is mop-up duty. He's one of those type of relievers where, you're down by a lot. Generally, he's in there to just kind of mop up so you don't kill other people's arms. He got 2 and he pitched 2 full innings, walked 1, struck out 2. Not bad. So maybe he'll improve a little bit. The only Twin to stand out in this game, to me, Denard Span. And guess what? Denard Span is now the leadoff hitter for the Twins. There was a lineup change. Carlos Gomez and Denard Span switched spots. And Span living up to it. He drew a walk and he got 2 hits. Excellent job by Span. As Gomez has not been stealing bases anymore. And now, he's the 9 hitter, as I said. So technically the number 9 hitter is like the other leadoff hitter. So there you go. And Castilla, leave him alone. He's fantastic at batting second. He's got a lot of RBI for a second baseman. And for a guy, who didn't even start the season here, he's got 38 RBI. Not bad at all. And now, the final game of the series, as the Yankees win. Again, one more time. As the Yankee fans, eating their Nathan hot dogs over there in New York City, pull out their brooms as the Moose, Mike Mussina, who is a Twin killer historically, the Moose, as that's what the Yankee fans were were cheering Wednesday afternoon. The Moose leads the Yankees to yet another victory. And how about this? Look what I get to see. The top batter of the day for the Twins, not Justin Morneau, not Denard Span, not Castilla. No, not even Joe Mauer. He's usually a guy who can get something done. Mauer didn't even play. Mike Lamb. There's no surprise there, right? Mike Lamb always goes 3 for 4. Well, with his excellent batting average this year, his batting average is now 229 after going 3 for 4 today. So, all right. That worked out, I guess, for today, being able to put him in for Justin Morneau, giving Justin Morneau and Mauer a break today. Though, unfortunately, not the recipe for success if you're the Twins. Denard Span, surprisingly, 0 for 4 today. I mean, that's going to happen. Alexi Castillo makes up for it, though. 2 hits for the Twins' second baseman, so he's the second best player for the Twins on this particular day. Gomes managing to get a hit in that 9 spot. His batting average has dipped all the way down to 248. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Twins muster 9 hits, so not bad, but they're all pretty much spread out. Mike Redmond in his typical boring day, 1 hit, no RBI, no nothing, just, I don't know. Mike Redmond is a good, solid pitcher, but, I don't know. Or catcher, but boring to me. I'm wrong. Justin Morneau did not have the day off, just didn't play in the field. He was the designated hitter, so that worked out okay. He got his 1 hit. Batting average managing to stay 317 range, so excellent. Delman, not Dimitri, but Delman Young, 0 for 4. Yeah. Man, oh man. So, yeah, that's just what's going on right now with this team. The Bats fell asleep after a nice start against the Texas Rangers. Mike Messina is now 13-6 with an ERA of 3.26. He pitched 8 innings, no runs allowed at all, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts. 3.26 for Mike Messina, who's pushing 40. And a guy who had kind of become a mediocre pitcher of late. One heck of a line for him. My goodness, he's going to turn 40 on December 8th. The Williamsport, Pennsylvania native, who was taken 20th by the Baltimore Orioles in 1990, back in the good old days, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was rocking and rolling in New York. Of course, Messina not a Yankee at that point in time, but still East Coast-ish on the Orioles. I'm just, wow. Mike Messina really stepping it up this year big time. Because the previous years, last year he was 5. His ERA was 5.15 with a win-loss record of 11-10. The year before, though, not bad, 15-7, ERA 3.51. So there's his last 3, as you call it, last 3 years. Glenn Perkins, though, here's the other guy you might look at possibly if you just gotta have Liriano up here, which I'm thinking you kind of do. There's the other guy you might consider moving to the bullpen. Perkins has been there before, and I'm telling you, the bullpen, other than Joe Nathan, not that great. Jesse Crane's okay. Brennan Bass is Brennan Bass. Guerrero is okay. I wouldn't mind that idea. I really wouldn't mind having Perkins or Slowey demoted, if just temporarily. It would be temporarily until Livan Hernandez is traded or whatever. Just leaves via free agency at the end of the year. Liriano is too good to be in the minor leagues. The guy is embarrassing the league. Now, when your ERA is 0.26 in the last 5 games, he needs to be playing at another level. He's playing against children versus him. So, yeah, the Twins have lost 4 in a row. The sky is not falling. It's just not. I understand that. But we have lost 4 in a row. And now we're only 9 games above 500. Now, at one point, he'd be saying, Joey, what's your problem? The Twins weren't even supposed to be above 500 this year. But, yeah, you got a chance to do something this year. Yes. I mean, I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry to do something. I haven't won a championship since 91. Now, I know Brewers fans haven't won one ever. They haven't even been to the World Series since 82. Indians haven't won a championship since 48. The Royals haven't won since 85, and so on and so forth. California Angels, or Anaheim Angels, or L.A. Angels, or South, or Orange County Angels, you might as well just call them that at this point, because, it's just the most confusing thing ever. Yeah, they haven't won one since 2002. Okay, sorry. I'll calm down now. But I'm hungry for another title here. This is Minnesota. This is where every time your hopes are up, they get dropped. So I want Liriano on this pitching staff. I badly want him here. I just can't. I love Liriano. I really do. I liked him more than Santana when he was here. That's why you can hear I crave watching this guy pitch. I really do. And that's where I stand right now on the Twins and how things are going. You got to have the best pitcher available up here, man, and he is that guy. But with that, I'm going to conclude this show. And again, I thank each and every one of you for listening. It has been a blast, as always. And do expect a Purple Mafia to be released within anywhere from as early as tonight, to within the next week, as training camp begins Friday. Just in time for the sub bus. No, that's an old inside joke, because we used to have the sub bus delivered on Friday at me and Paul Tuniverse Caniff's place of employment, circa 9 years ago now. Back in the good old days at DMS. But with that, we're going to conclude this show. And definitely, again, as I said, check out Purple Mafia when it comes out. It will be coming soon. Hopefully we'll have some more Wolves news to talk about. We'll continue to cover the Twins here on out, as that is a big part of Paladino Live, and I'm enjoying covering this team a lot more than I thought I would. A lot more. I mean, this is a fun team to watch and to follow. And with that, I'm going to wish all of you a great week. Wish me a happy birthday, as my golden birthday is on the 29th, as that will be, of course, my 29th birthday next Tuesday. And I'll probably be a year older next time I talk to you. So with that, we will talk to you soon. Take care.